Will doing what makes other people successful work for you? Well, that is what we are going to be fearlessly questioning this week as we are fearlessly questioning successful habits with the Content Marketing Institute leader himself, Joe Pulizzi. Might I also add a fellow Clevelander, so I can't make any promises that this show just won't be crazy Cleveland nonsense of us just loving on Cleveland. I can't promise that won't happen. So, as you know, I'm from Cleveland-ish, Cleveland area. Joe's from the Cleveland area. I love everybody from Cleveland, well, for the most part. And not the reason that I wanted to have Joe on the show at all, but just something that we do happen to share in common. But today, I guess not today, this week, what I want to talk to Joe about and why we're fearlessly questioning successful habits is because I had the opportunity to watch Joe give a Bold Talk presentation at HubSpot's Inbound 14 conference this past September in Boston, and he talked about the successful habits that he talked about the successful habits that he kind of picked up. I guess it was a very defining point in his life where he just started doing these few things, and it really changed his life from everything that kind of he said. And we all listen to podcasts. You listen to podcasts. You watch Hangouts. You read blog posts. You read articles. You read ebooks. You read books. You're consuming all of these resources to hear what other people have to say. And we're constantly learning what works for other people. And I think that is very important, not diminishing that at all. But what I really want to get after is it really copying letter for letter what that person does, that success habit? Is that going to make you a success? Is it going to work for you? Because I believe it was Brian Clark back on, I want to say episode 17, when we fearlessly questioned making things easy, he had mentioned, I believe in his rant about, it's not necessarily about making it about that specific thing, but taking that specific thing and applying it to yourself. And I think that's what I kind of want to ask Joe about and really figure out if his success is because the habits that he happened to adopt fit naturally with his personality and just kind of the type of person he is, or if it is more about flipping that switch and finding that mindset that says, well, I'm going to do these things no matter what, even if they don't feel natural to me. Because I think there's a lot to be learned both ways, no matter which way you go. One, the adaptability to overlay something over top of what you already know and enhance your abilities. And then two, to say to yourself, well, I'm going to just say, listen, I know this isn't something that is natural to me, but I think I can make myself successful at this, so I'm going to give it a shot and I'm going to do it. I think both of those skills are very important and very useful if you can kind of get a handle on them. I just don't know which one works with these whole habits thing, because I've done it both ways. I've tried to do things word for word, letter for letter from the habits of other people, and I just either I'm not dedicated enough, maybe I haven't got that killer instinct to get that thing done and make that habit stick, or maybe it's just not something that is I'm going to always be fighting upstream on, and maybe I should find a way to maybe flow upstream with it, or wait, how should I say it? Maybe I should find a way to swim with the current. I guess that's probably the best way to say it. Than if I didn't. And there's only so much you can spend fighting. So I guess, and the reason that I say this is just a quick personal experience, is because growing up I was never a person that really enjoyed physical activity and working out and all that stuff. I mean, I played sports, and that kind of kept me in shape as a result. But it really wasn't until after I, was closing out my college career and really getting out of college that, after kind of a period of inactivity, then I said, well, guess what? I'm going to dedicate myself to being in shape and working out on a regular basis. And ever since I was, maybe 25, 26, I've basically worked out, 5 or 6 days a week. And it's not something that comes natural to me, but I made myself be that person. And I think it's one of the more important things that I've ever done, one of the more important habits I've ever changed, because it teaches you so much more than just that specific habit. I mean, it teaches you the ability to, just do what needs to be done sometimes, and just to not take excuses, not make excuses, and to just do the work. But at the same time, there's a lot of other, productivity, organization type habits that I've tried to apply myself to, and for whatever reason, they just don't stick. And I'm sure you probably have those experiences, whether it's in your personal health, your life, just your personal life in general, or within business and your professional life, and the things that you've tried to do or not do. More or less, it's probably more about the stuff that you don't do is really the actual killer in all this. But I want to get in there and kind of start to draw these parallels and connect the dots and see what is what. And I think also too is we live in a world where we want kind of immediate results, and we have a hard time understanding the lengthity of what it might take for this to actually come full circle and to actually make a difference. And I think sometimes we give up on things maybe too soon, to where we can't quite see the results as fast as we might want them. Maybe that's part of the problem. Or on the other side, and this is a constant, if you're inside my head, this is what it's like all the time. It's just I'm constantly arguing both sides of the story. Or on the other side of the coin is, as well, are we just making excuses and allowing mediocre results to just kind of prevail and continue to exist? Should we have a shorter leash? I don't know. These are all the questions that I hope Joe will be able to help us answer and kind of see. But I just want to know, again, we all want to be where we're not, at least. Most of us, more often not, feel like we're not where we should be, even though we might be in a place that is, if we were to look back 2 or 3 years from now, or 2 or 3 years ago, as a place that we would have loved to be in, or it's just we constantly continue to set the bar, and rightfully so. But maybe we're just not taking enough time to look at the results that we actually have achieved, and how did we get those results, and how do we get those results? So, I think that's about it on the whole successful habits thing. I don't know. I want to. I think this is important because, again, it borders on being something like really important, I think, or it's just like the biggest waste of time excuse, I think, argument. Like if you're just saying, well, I'm not going to do it this way because it kind of feels like it could be a bunch of whining and complaining and not doing what needs to be done to actually get the results. Or ultimately it could be, I think, if you are able to overlay that and kind of translate those habits and skills from other people to, how they best suit you, I think that's important. But I don't know. Joe has had obviously a lot more success, taking successful habits and applying them to his life. And we're going to go after him about it and see exactly what he has to say. A few quick housekeeping items before we wrap up. There will not be a show next week. That is unless I get an overwhelming response. What I wanted to do next week was to, obviously it's the week of Christmas, I wanted to fearlessly question you about traditions. I put an invitation out on Google+. I didn't really get much feedback on it. So if any of you are listening and you want to come onto the show and be a guest and fearlessly question traditions, we can find some time to do that. I was initially going to do it on the 23rd, the day before Christmas Eve. But let me know if you think that's something you're up for and we want to do it last minute. I always like to try and involve you guys as much as possible to hear what you have to say, because traditions is something that we oftentimes, I guess we go both ways on them. Either we screw them up, we hold on to them for too long, or we're afraid to create new ones. We don't realize that, okay, just because we've done this forever doesn't mean we can't do something new and create a new tradition. Yes, but at the same time, too, it's important to hold on to the things that are important that we have done for a long time and to continue to do them as long as they make sense. And I would like to do that with everybody. Since it's the holiday season, we all have our own Christmas traditions, the family traditions that we've done. And kind of using that as a bridge to the whole conversation of the traditions, or I guess, the lack of a better extent, habits that we have created within our own life and our business life, and to why we keep doing the same things that we do, and to not continually to look to question those, and to see if they still make sense, or if we can maybe do something that might be more fun or better or whatever. Because new things come up, they change, and there's nothing that says we can't do that. So if you want to do that and participate, well, I'd love to have you. I think it would be a lot of fun. Even let you do a rant video, or get on the rant. We'll do some rants. That'll be fun. You can submit those to me, and we can see who wants to come on to the show live, and we'll fearlessly question traditions. Other than that, what I will ask is, if you are enjoying these episodes, if you are enjoying these fearless questions with these guests, of course, do me a favor and get on over to fearlesslyquestioning.com/subscribe. That's fearlesslyquestioning.com/subscribe, and that's going to give you everything that you need to go and find us in iTunes, Stitcher, wherever, and hopefully leave us a rating or review to help this show kind of continue to grow and find new people, so we can keep asking fearless questions for you, and hopefully they're helping you out as well. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. We will catch you this Thursday, December 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern to fearlessly question successful habits with none other than Joe Polizzi himself. Take it easy, everyone.